Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm sure you guys can hold it down for 2 minutes. So.
Oh yeah. You gotta scroll that map out, dude. Like it's not starting to make any more sense anymore. Like there you go.
You can do the
Now
daily.
we
You
got
can do the
some.
daily because this is not even. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Okay, so where's like the next like resistance point? What do you think, Willis? Like
I
around
mean, if you're
12,000?
looking at in the
Like
daily,
right there,
Yeah,
right? Like
same.
yeah, I mean,
where we're at.
10,900. If it's really feeling like that crazy, I mean,
Dude, if it breaks 11,000,
there's nothing like this. Is there a daily that even looks anything like this?
Not recently. Dude, yeah, this is a
No.
Like,
nasty.
we gotta go back over here. Really, I mean, really, that's
we're
pretty.
talking about
fucking
$3,000
crazy.
gain in a single day.
In a single day.
Yeah, dude.
I'm trying to tell you too because like what I was saying earlier, like oh shit, I think my live is something's up with my live, no? Oh no, what the hell's going on? It says I got a good connection, but it says error.
Oh, I can see it.
You can see it. All right, so the stream is good. All right, okay. Let me put everything down. I feel like I have like 100 things open right now.
Everybody does, dude.
Shit.
So much to be looking at, especially when you're like in crypto and shit. There's like,
Yeah.
got like 5 coin
Like
market.
I can't, we got the moon map, the moon map is open right now.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Badass. What was it, like a rainbow or something?
Yeah, I shared it a couple of days ago, and I was asking everybody's opinion.
Yeah, so I listened to that. I had time, man. So I listened to the podcast that day, and that dude is fucking smart. That dude said some of the smartest things I've ever heard said, man, for real.
Tommy World Power.
What was his name?
Who we're talking about?
Where'd you find that podcast?
It was right on top of the page. I'll show you. Actually, it's right here, right there.
Oh yeah,
Sasha Hodler.
I don't know who this is.
Yeah, she interviewed this guy. I don't even know his name, but the guy from this moon math shit. And this motherfucker, he was just smart, man. He really, man. He was talking about. That's what I was telling you. Well, I was like, what he was saying, correlating it to the way the beer business went, and how you had like a guy that started in his bathtub making beer, and then next thing you know, all the companies bought all the bathtub beer up. Oh, that's my pizza. I told you the pizza was gonna come right in the middle of everything. I'll be right back.
No,
priorities.
So yeah, so I shared this link a couple days ago, and it's the linear regression curve, except it's actually updated to the latest price. And
what do the colors represent, though?
So it doesn't represent anything. It's just it's really just to kind of indicate like really high peaks and lower bounds. But if you read their website, they're talking about actually making those colors mean something. So, but they're still working on it, and obviously this doesn't really mean anything other than, this trajectory is going to lead to $1 million Bitcoin in like 6 years or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
So, I think it's one of the things that we were talking about last week or a couple of days ago actually, and I wanted to find a chart with the updated data just to see where it looked like, and so I found this.
So this is like. It's like right before this big pop off or something.
Yeah, this is right before the pop off. Yeah,
that's happening right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that shit's pretty consistent.
Yeah.
Look at it. Dude, it's starting, man.
Yeah, I think once we get this, if we break 11,000, I think you're right. I think it's gonna keep going up.
All right. That's gonna be necessary in a little bit here.
Dude, I'm ready for it, man.
Damn, 33%. So it's starting to calm down now, but
yeah, it's coming back.
I want to see what time it is in China right now.
Oh yeah, that's a big.
You checking that out?
The volume's gonna be nasty, man.
That's a crazy candle.
Yeah, it's a statement candle for sure.
For real.
That's like whenever we broke from 3K to 4,200 back like 6 months ago or whatever.
Yeah.
That was a statement candle.
See, I wasn't even around for that one. That's this one.
Yeah, that's that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
in Beijing right now. It's 9:49 in the morning.
Okay. That makes sense.
But the buying started like 4 hours ago, so like around.
Yeah. But this candle too, like this is a daily too.
Yeah.
So it's this candle and then this one. That's crazy.
In China, man. Dude, see, China in 2017, they had the power to tank the market.
Yeah, they
I
did.
remember.
They did.
Every little, they banned Bitcoin like 4 or 5 times. They're like, fuck this Bitcoin shit, you know?
Yeah. Well, they just want to have control over shit. You know what I mean? They just want to basically have control over shit. I wouldn't be surprised if we get banned for saying that.
Yeah.
You know?
See, I always figured though, because like the United States dollar has so much power. I feel like eventually like the world powers from beyond are gonna figure out, you know what, the best way to fuck over the United States is to devalue their currency, like use a digital currency instead.
Yeah.
That's what I figure.
Yeah, I mean, you watched the Zuckerberg thing, right, Will?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So like, you remember the part when the guy was saying, we wouldn't want to have to send basically bombs over, so that's why we use the American dollar to.
The American dollar is the one that puts pressure on other countries.
Yeah. So he's saying, but it was crazy because he was like a kind of like a bully being like, nah, I don't want to have to go over there and whoop some ass. So that's why I do what I do with this dollar. So you're gonna really make me go in my bag like that? You're like, damn, dude, you're really like bullying, huh?
Yeah,
that's how Trump's doing it, man.
Yeah,
like, sure.
That's just the American way,
True.
And a lot of the questions were completely stupid, though.
A lot of them had to do just with Facebook.
Yeah,
a lot of it was they were like ridiculous stuff. They're like, my mom last year was on Facebook and she saw a fucked up video, and you're like, all right, lady, like, chill. Like this is a little bit bigger than that. Even though that's a big deal. But that's a big deal at a different time.
They had this number where they were talking about like 18 million pictures of underage children. Like 18 million. I was wondering, like, why?
She said something about like
who counted
of like the child porn images that are on Facebook. Like, where the fuck? Where, dude? Where are these?
So I was asking about it, and I forgot who was telling me. Basically it's kids sending each other's nudes.
Oh fuck!
That's what it is.
Really?
They're counting 16-year-olds sending each other nudes. Yeah. Who was I seeing about that?
I was wondering, is like, where's this ring, as pedophile child pornography ring, doing on Facebook? And it's like, it didn't make any sense to me. So then once I heard it was like the kids sending each other shit, I was like, okay, well that makes sense.
Yeah.
But why would you do that on Facebook though? And then on top of that, how does Facebook know what you're sending each other?
Facebook
they know everything, man. They know everything.
When Zuckerberg was doing that interview, he sounded like he knew personally about a lot of stuff that I didn't expect him to personally know about. It was like,
wow. I think so too. I mean,
you really know about that.
Keep going.
Yeah, you think? Yeah, he's got to be like super PC. He can't piss off anyone, dude.
Yeah.
Or else he can't say anything to like, raise some red flags. That's stock.
Yeah, I was surprised about the way he was going about it. Like, he did what he could do, man. He's not like.
Yeah, I almost felt bad for Zuck.
That's what everyone said.
Almost, until I thought about how much money he had, and I was like, he's gonna be straight as soon as he leaves this situation. You know what I mean? So it's like, nah.
He can handle a little bit of criticism.
He need to feel bad for me,
Scrooge McDuck room. Just fucking dive into his room full of gold coins or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, they even asked him, like, are you willing to take your entire salary in Libra? Or whatever you're gonna leave off.
That was a stupid question too, because it's like, no, because I wouldn't take my entire salary in dollars.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Like, that man is gonna have assets. Like, these motherfuckers that fuck with assets. They don't have like, they're not just like, I just have $1 billion trillion and it's all in dollars. Like, get the fuck out of here. Hell no. He's he's got gold. This motherfucker got businesses. He's got land. He's definitely not. He would be. That would be the ridiculous thing like a lot of ridiculous questions they asked that day.
Yeah.
But it was worth listening to if you're into the space. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you know about this stuff, then you should probably have been watching that. That's why I was saying it's like must-see TV.
Now it's crazy seeing like politicians use the word cryptocurrency so much these days. I feel like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like surreal in a way, just because I've been like, watching this shit for like a few years now.
Yeah.
All of a sudden now this is like mainstream attention from
concern.
Like you see like AOC up there and shit.
Yeah,
she's like a big politician these days.
Yeah. I mean, it was a lot. There was a lot of things that were like kind of like, I don't know. I kind of stepped back and was like, wow, these people are like, they're scared. They seem scared to me. They seem like they're caught off guard and they don't know exactly what to do about any of it. You know, it's kind of like when a parent, like, their 16-year-old daughter just started fucking everyone, and they're like, oh no, what are you doing outside? You know, like it's got so much more than me being outside right now. That, you know.
Yeah, you don't know what's gonna come of it. Like you said, that 16-year-old girl is out there being a salute.
Yeah, a salute.
You might have a baby, you know, or some shit. We don't know what's gonna come.
Yeah.
10
like,
years from now, this cryptocurrency thing.
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, look at this thing. This is just crazy. I mean, literally. I mean, I
is-
wanted to talk about all kinds of things, but I'm just looking at this thing like, this is crazy.
Dude, this is like
action movie right
This is
here.
like
For
porn,
real.
dude. This is like map
Like,
chart porn. Like, look at these big
yeah,
ass
seriously. Like,
especially if you got money. Especially if you got money, and like if you're holding
Mm-hmm.
Bitcoin right now, you're happy. You're a happy man.
Oh yeah.
I could have held out.
I mean,
for a
honestly,
longer,
if you're doing anything
longer
crypto
period.
in this moment right now,
Yeah.
you're probably in a good mood at least. You know.
It's good to see, man. Dude, Bitcoin's been fucking snoozing for like 3 months now, dude.
Yeah.
Like
It's
straight
true.
Sideways.
Like, the mana sale's over.
Yeah, because it was at under 2 cents, right?
It was at 20.
Oh,
When I put mana sale up on my wall, it was like
like,
20, 25 or 0.25 or something like that, 0.26. And I was like, yeah, it's a mana sale.
Yeah,
And then it's over. The mana sale is long been since over.
yeah.
Whatever.
Holy shit. Wait, what are we looking at? That's mana?
So yeah,
That's
man.
mana. Hold on, I'm about to go check Ether real quick. Ether at $195. It was at 160 something the other, like 5 minutes ago.
Damn.
That's crazy. This is my first experience, I think, in crypto with something this crazy.
Wait, so when exactly did you hop in?
I'll show you. I'll show you on the map. Where's BTC? Did I lose it? Did I delete it?
No, it should be there.
It would be like here, right? Did I delete it? I think I got so flustered I might have deleted BTC altogether.
There it is.
So I got in right around, and I did all kinds of junk though. That's what I did though. I got in right around here, and then lived through all this stuff. Became a trader, quit trading. I did all kinds of like ridiculousness all through this time, and then I probably found Decentraland somewhere around this area here.
Right.
Wow.
But and then I started kind of doing things in Decentraland, and most of my money's been kind of tied up in that lately because it's not just like just the land and the mana. Like I'm doing things with Catherine and stuff like that. So like, you know, paying.
That's
for work and
KJ
stuff.
Walker, right?
Yeah, yep.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I'm happy with what I've got going on because the reason for me with Decentraland is like, the ability to follow crypto and use my creativity to probably try to gain money in crypto. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the things that we always talk about is that if Decentraland doesn't figure out ways to, or the actual developers don't give us tools to help us monetize what we create,
Mhm.
there's not going to be a whole lot of Decentraland
Yeah.
because we can't sustain ourselves just
I'm-
creating
I'm
cool
already-
stuff
I'm
and not
already-
making money.
I'm already
True,
seeing it.
true.
Like now the game jam is done.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Dude, it's like a ghost town. in
it
that
is a
bitch
ghost
again.
town.
It's definitely a bit of a ghost town, but I'm pretty excited about the casino that's going up, the Flamingo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I talked to Boss today actually, and I had a funny conversation with him. I wanted to talk about that. So you know, I was telling him about my project and stuff, and I was like, man, are you based in the U.S.? Because like, what's up with regulatory issues with what you're doing right now? And he's like, man, I'm in Costa Rica, and I was like, yeah.
It makes sense, right?
Yeah, it made a lot of sense when he said that. And I thought that was real cool, though. And it kind of like confirmed my thoughts. You know, I was like, this dude must be somewhere else. He can't be in America doing no fucking
Yeah, for
giant
real.
casino.
So like we won't even be able to play, right? For America.
I wouldn't if I was you.
Yeah. No, you have to go through KYC through their website, and
Just-
then
okay.
you can play.
Oh, I didn't even know. So yeah, so I'm not even interested in. I'm not much of a gambler in the first place, so it doesn't matter. But to me, all casino and Decentraland are like up and running. is probably healthy for everybody. You know,
For sure.
so that's what I looked at.
I guess I'll like run over there and like stand outside,
And just
look
look.
upon and envy. Like, man, look at all them having fun in there.
They're not even gonna let they've got to let you in because there's amenities and stuff like that. That's why they have like 30 extra parcels that are not available for sale.
Yeah, it's gonna be turned into like
Like
not just
entertainment
gambling,
too. Yeah, yeah.
exactly.
Like
I
you
think
can
they
pull
have
up here. Actually, let me pull that up. Let me see if I can.
Yeah, one of the things I was talking to with Boss is having people bet on the block runner during the monthly tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So, like for
Oh.
example, once we select,
That's crazy.
yeah. So the last man standing on a monthly tournament, you can bet on one of the 10 people,
Mhm.
and
Oh.
so the betting would happen through the central games, which is what Boss is doing.
Ooh, boss.
Boss, BAUS. That's the guy
Some
running.
Bows?
I'm trying to find
Yeah.
Baus.
Baus?
Yeah,
I
I don't know how he
Baus.
pronounces it.
Bows.
Oh, call him Boss because
I'm trying to
he's
find.
a boss. Man.
Yeah, he's the boss, man. That dude.
Okay.
I'm trying to find. I was looking at all this earlier today. I'm trying to remember where it was like on his blog. I wonder if I can write in boss. No, that ain't it. How did I find that, man? It was like a webpage that had his blog on it and the it's like Vegas. Was it
Oh, the
Vegas?
Flamingo?
Yeah.
This is the one that they're auctioning off pieces
Yeah.
of their prop or their casino, right?
Yeah.
Like this.
See, that's what I don't understand. If we buy a piece of land over there,
Yeah.
do we have any implications on like regular
I would stay away from that totally if you
Yeah,
live in the
I don't think-
Midwest. Yeah.
I don't think
But
we could fuck.
this is what I was going to show you though. That like there's an entertain. So this is Vegas City altogether, right? So Flamingos is going to be right here. So they've got an entertainment quarter. They've got a sports plaza. They've got the experience quarter. I think it's more like a theme park. Is what I think I read about that. And then
Okay.
this is all casino stuff.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So they've got like a plan going on there. This is all roads. And then, the center of the plaza, whatever there's going to be there. They plan on having like entertainment, people performing music and all kinds of junk in there. That's, yeah. So
Do you know how many people are working on this?
I do not know. I didn't ask them all that.
Okay.
I was just like,
It's a lot of work though. What they're doing?
that's going to be an undertaking. Like if you think about, this is 88. Look at this little box right here. That's 88 parcels.
Dude.
And the way he's putting it together.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's enormous. If you look at it on the big map, like, hold on,
It's at least a couple thousand parcels.
It's several. I can pull it. We can find out exactly right now.
Yeah. Yeah, Vegas City's fucking huge. I remember. It's
Yeah.
like the whole top left corner of the map. Yeah, there it is. The big workshop.
This
Oh, damn.
1,716
Yeah.
parcels. You can't even like
How do
zoom
you-
out far enough.
What about
Yeah.
to the left of it? Too? Yeah, that's
Oh
not
damn,
even-
that's 1/4.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
not even.
shit.
Holy shit!
Yeah, man.
They're all 1716.
Wow.
So times 4. Oh no, there's 1672 somehow. And 16. So it's just two that are 1672 and two that are 1716.
Okay, so they already have like a whole project lined out and stuff. There has to be like a team of like 100 people working on this. I feel like
That's what I'm
so
saying.
much
There's got to
work.
be a lot of people from probably a couple different countries. You can't imagine that they're all in Costa Rica, like chopping it up and shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
I
it.
wish.
That's a project,
Dude,
man.
the stuff that we did for Game Jam, that was a lot of work for us.
I know.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
And
I
that was
mean,
like
that
4
was like-
parcels.
Yeah, I'm working on a 2-parcel little like mom and pop shop that me and Catherine been working on for like 2 months, something like that. Obviously, we had Game Jam. I didn't want to bother her. There's things that we had to learn within the time anyway, So it was like we had to learn some things in order to make what I want to have happen. So
Right.
I had to have a lot.
Same
of
for
patience.
everybody. We all had to learn something in order to deploy whatever we
And
wanted.
then the funny part about Game Jam, I was like, man, of course they're gonna throw the curveball. They're throwing updates for the whole DCL in the middle of Game Jam.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, that was
They do
like
it all the time.
annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
definitely.
changed the whole physics of the world.
Yeah,
at
yeah,
one
they
point. I
did.
remember that. They like ruined our jumping game. Like, damn.
Yeah, when you guys used to be able to jump to the sky.
Yeah. It had like a cool feel to it where you could like fucking
Glide.
glide all over the place. Then turned into like badasses. They can barely jump 2 inches up.
Yeah,
This-
man.
This
Cool.
sign now makes a lot of sense. Actually, let me jump off of this. Huh.
So,
Now my
so you know
sign
people
just
building
makes
that scaffolding, right?
Looks good, man.
It's the king of the stairs. This guy, hell yeah,
Yeah.
the drunken king of the stairs.
Who is this?
Yeah.
Who's
What
all
is he
that?
doing? Like, what's the plan
I'm
here?
thinking this is a building. I'm
Yeah,
starting to think that this is the early walls and the center part of a building, and then you could like wall this stairs up, and or maybe I'm just giving him ideas now, but you know, what I mean? Like, you know, that's my guess is that he's got 4 parcels here in an estate, and that, you know, he could build a building this high. He's probably like, all right, I can go that high. This is where the stairs are gonna be. But he was messing with an elevator before. I think it might just be his like scratch pad too. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's probably just, testing waters. And
Yeah,
shit.
exactly. Everybody seems to be, you know, just and again with the updates that happen, like who knows, you know? Because like, you know, you're having updates going on all the time with Decentraland, so you don't know exactly what you're gonna be able to do and not be able to do, you know?
Yeah.
Like I had
Another reason why it's dead right now is because nobody can deploy anything. That's broken.
that's the other thing. They had the deployment problem. Yeah. So I mean, even like my floors, I can't put floors
That's
right
right.
now.
Yeah. So Frankie bought some floors from MetaZone,
Mm-hmm.
and he bought it like on the day where the deployment stuff broke.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
it's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And it's still not fixed. That was like
Yeah.
a week ago.
That was like over a week ago.
Yeah. 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 I think Crunch is on vacation right now. I was trying to get him to
Yeah.
be around for
We
the
haven't heard from
last
him in
stream.
a while.
Yeah. He said he was going on vacation or something like that, so he'll be back around. But yeah, those are Crunch's floors.
Oh yeah, those
Yeah.
are his floors, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nine or what?
Yeah, I think so.
Shit.
He said I got to get the dragon scales. Not even sure what the dragon scales look like.
Is there something on the other side of the wall?
On the other side of the wall is more stairs from this guy over here. Fresh stairs leading
he
to
just
this
got in his
fancy
way, huh?
rock. Look at that rock
What the
spinning.
fuck, dude?
That
Look
rock
at
is
that,
spinning,
dude.
boy.
Like a mystery.
And then there's this plot of land that I'm plotting on. And
Hey,
then,
what? I remember that. Have you ever figured out that little puzzle thing?
Yeah,
right behind
Frankie
you?
did
I
actually.
did
right?
this. It was. I don't even know how it works because it just looks like numbers adding up in ways that. But I told who was it? I keep forgetting who's. It was it Seb that made this.
Seb Center, right?
Yeah, yeah. I told him I was like, it's like it was like figuring out a Rubik's cube by mistake. You know, it's like
was, like,
fucking.
fiddling
If you
with
go
it
over here, and
and
I'll go mess
right?
with it, but I'm literally not gonna try to do this right now because
No,
it took me a
no,
while.
no. I
So
think
what
we
you do
tried
is you aim at these things, right, and it gives you a number. You see that number? All right, I'm at 17. The next
Yeah.
number is now it's that number, right? And I know it's not like just to this next one, but come on, there it is. There's another number, right? And so like now I gotta make it add up to the right number.
Yeah,
Nope.
the goal is to
Add
like.
up to the right.
Yeah, the goal is to like.
There's a number that you
a
wanna
specific number.
reach. And so there's like a combination of hitting these balls that you do, and then you end up with a crypto kitty on the bottom. And the crypto kitty is not for me. It's just so you know that you won.
Just displays.
Oh, lame.
But it's I know I really was hoping I can keep that crypto kitty, but
Yeah.
especially because like look at this.
Wait, so
shit.
you don't even have to be jumping on these platforms or nothing?
No, you just gotta aim at this thing. This
man.
this aimer thingy like goes for distance, man. When I did Catherine's game, like
Yeah.
that aimer thing, I was like flipping those little switches on the on the enchanted wood.
Yeah, yeah.
I was flipping those little switches from deep, man. I was like, oh, bloop, like far as hell away.
Yeah.
That was funny. I was in there with Highball actually, right? And Highball's like, I'm texting him in the Discord. I'm like, I can see you, and he's like, nah, man, I'm way up here, man. I can't see you. I was like, nah, I'm up top with Tack. He's like, oh, all right. Yeah, I'm not messing with that. That hurt my head. I think it took me like 14 minutes to do that.
Yeah, man, there's a lot of puzzles out
I
there.
definitely do not. And he has a
Like,
whole bunch of those, yeah. But the concept of that thing is so dope. Like the concept of that thing is all about making NFT scenes. So
NFC what?
NFT scenes.
yeah, so the scenes would be an NFT that you would be able to
Oh.
have as your unique scene that somebody couldn't take from you and that you could take with you and put it on a different parcel. Which I think you guys are working on something like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very similar.
Want to?
This guy wrote an article about it, and then so this thing has like the history of Ethereum. So all of these have like a little write up on a historic event in Ethereum, which again I'm not going to be reading right now, but
Yeah.
Party. Yeah.
super cool. This guy is real smart. Is what I gather from all this.
Hey, man. Puzzles galore, man.
Puzzles
Yeah.
galore.
You know what? I haven't seen. I don't know if you've seen anything, Frankie. Have you seen anything like where you come across a thing in Decentraland that allows people to make money?
And again, that's why I started. You know, that's why. Well, that was why I started following you guys, and then that's why I started like, all right, now I want to be involved with whatever you guys are doing because,
Right.
you know, you guys were thinking on the same level as me, and that's why I told Iron Man too. I was like, you know, immediately when I first started this, I had like a conference with me and my homies, and I have a bunch of homies that I play Xbox with, and you know, we had like a conference, and we're kicking around all kinds of ideas and all kinds of, you know, illicit ideas and things like that. It got real crazy because my boys are always on some bullshit. So, but
Are they still in there with you?
what's that?
Like, are they still keeping up? Like,
Oh, I mean,
are
those are my guys. So like my real close friends. You know, so
yeah. Well, I did the same thing with my friends, but they all just like blew me off.
I mean,
They're like, man, this shit's stupid. Like,
I went. No, they're definitely backing me. Like, you know, a couple of them got characters and just haven't really jumped in yet. You know, I actually just had my friend. So my real close friend just got back from Thailand, and he was during this whole time that I got involved with Decentraland. He was in Thailand. Oh, Jay Wright. He joined the Discord the other day. Right? So he just got back from Thailand from a coding boot camp. So it was just like perfect timing, you know. And so I'm gonna put him to work when I get my project. And basically, I took one of my pieces of land. I was like, you know, get yourself a little character and stuff, or get yourself set up. And then when you get, you know, started, you can. I'll give him permissions to the little piece of land, and he can kind of scratch pad on that piece of land and see what we can accomplish. You know.
Yeah.
That's Frank. That's AKA Frankie's Moon World. We can go visit Frankie's Moon World right now.
Just do it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I think the other one that comes close is the casino. I mean,
The casino, yeah.
It's pretty straightforward though. But I want to see like almost every land to be like some kind of way to generate money.
Yeah,
Like,
or in general, just have some sort of purpose. You know.
Yeah.
You know, and the thing is, you don't have to be generating money through only charging people to play. You know,
no.
I think that's like a misconception, and a lot of the like you have like a lot of the angry people. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of random angry people. Hold on a
Haters.
second.
Yeah, haters, exactly.
1738. That they think everything's just gonna be, well, this is just about being paid to play and da da da. It's like, my man, you can advertise for things in the world. As long as we get people in here,
Exactly.
we can advertise in real world things. You know, like my plan is not to just be doing Decentraland stuff. Believe me, man, I come from the real world, and that's why the whole hip hop thing. That's why I kind of gravitated toward that. Like, let me do what I know. You know.
Yeah.
But I'm probably gonna be, advertising people's music and such, things like that. Because if I can put somebody's music in front of all kinds of people's eyes from all over the world, like what are we talking about?
Yeah, for sure. It's music. It's like cell phones in the real world. I mean, anything that advertisers want people to look at.
Absolutely.
Especially players that are engaged in a video game.
You got to remember too is that you're gonna be able to put people's eyes on things that are from not your country, that you would never be able to contact with them, and they're gonna be spending time if you can get them to spend the time. So there's got to be some sort of like, this is Frankie's Moon World. This is what I did with the Builder, which it's all right. I had a long conversation with Ariel from the I don't know, he must be from the Builder program or whatever, or from DCL in general. But I was telling him about like what I thought. Like the Builder is very, very like simple, and I think that it can be done a lot better. Like I've been messing with Somnium Space as well, right? And that's something else I wanted to talk about. Did you guys see the whole tweet thing with this guy? The CEO from
that he's like talking trash on
him and H Provacos, right? We're going crazy back and forth. And at first I thought, I was like, that's stupid. I kind of looked at it and I was like, I'm not even looking at that. But then when I went to the Twitter thread, I was like, holy shit, these guys are going at it. Like for
So
real.
what were they saying?
Who was the other guy?
So it's the CEO of Somnium Space
Oh
and
shit.
H. Privaco is like going at it, and a couple other people, whatever. You know,
Yeah.
and he's just like the dude, and it kind of like a little bit turned me off to Somnium Space. And you know, there's been things about Somnium Space that I'm not in love with, definitely.
Yeah.
The sensuality of it, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, whatever. But this dude is just like kind of bad mouthing Decentraland, you know. And it's like you don't need to do that.
Yeah, there's no need for that.
Like first of all, at all. You know, there's not like enough market cap to have that kind of competition.
yeah.
It's like Fisker Karma versus Tesla or some shit like that. I guess
Yeah.
it's like just it gets dirty in a way. I guess because
For
nobody's
no need.
well,
Yeah.
nobody is the clear cut
Winner.
first place, like leading the charge yet.
There's
Yeah.
not even a race. The race hasn't started.
Yeah.
You know, like dudes are still, you know, like it's just really not a thing yet. So you know, to sit here and badmouth, and there was a video I had watched of it was like that dude Arthur, and one of the devs from Decentraland, who was definitely not like. See, the thing about Decentraland was what I like about it is not being run by one dude. You know, it's
Yeah.
not like a representative, like, oh, that's the dude from Decentraland. You know,
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
team of people who are from different parts of the world, and that's
Yeah.
why it's Decentraland. You know, it's a community. You know,
Exactly.
that's what they've built. And so, like
Yeah.
you know, so this dude's in that, you know, he's doing his presentation. He's got all kinds of bells and whistles on his presentation and shit. He's got like wild rock and roll playing when he comes up to the stage, and like a WWF wrestler or some shit. You know what I mean? And then he's like talking trash, you know, like a little bit in that conference, and I'm like, I don't think that's really necessary. You know what I mean? Like, it was
it's a
him.
bad look too.
Yeah, it was like him, the other dude, and then the dude from Neos, right? You know about Neos?
Yeah.
Is that like Neo's version of Decentraland or what?
No. There's like Neo World. That's a different one. That's
Yeah,
it's something
Neo.
like Neo Land or Neo World. That's not the same thing. Neos is
Yeah,
this
what is
guy, and that was a pretty cool project. And when I get a VR, actually, man, you should check that out. It's like more like Ready Player One, but it's super cartoony. Like everybody's like a fucking fox. Everybody's got a tail. I'm like, I'm cool. I don't want a tail, homie. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I want to be a person. You know what I mean? But whatever. You can build a lot more in it because you can do. I think there's a lot more space. Like you can build your own. It's kind of like more like VR chat, I guess, that you can like really build a
Yeah.
bigger space. You know. There's no buying land, and they don't advertise it, so they just kind of like tell people about it, and people kind of latch onto it and start working with it and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
I would say it's like the open source version of all this, you know. And so it's cool, and you know, I like that guy as a person. Like I was like, that guy seems like a good dude, you know. But man, he rubbed me the wrong way in that, and then this whole Twitter storm with H. Pavacos, and like. I was like, man, you like you'd have to see. I might be able to pull it up. I'm.
Yeah, see if you can find it.
Yeah, it's like
Is there any name calling?
I don't remember if it was necessarily name calling, but it wasn't. It wasn't a good look for a CEO to be doing all that. Like it's just. What is his thing? There he is, right there. First thing popping up. So it started from this. Where the dude was like talking about, and this is in Somnium Space. He made like an arcade machine, and the dude, yeah. So he's like, hold on, I'm sorry, yeah. So our community is achieving some serious and amazing results with Somnium Builder. Look at this arcade machine. So what's gonna be your thing inside the persistent Somnium Space virtual reality? It's just kind of like. Cool, I made a arcade machine, you know? And then he said something, and I don't know if it's in this thread, but basically the dude, no, it's not in this thread at all. The dude said, I hope it's going to be more like Decentraland or something like that. And this guy starts talking about like, oh, please no, we'll never look like Decentraland. And then that kind of started off like a real petty little argument. And I'm trying to find this a little bit.
Yeah, I saw another one where they they have like some kind of tablet in like a browser
They got a
within
browser,
Community.
and you can go into crypto voxels right in there.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah,
that one. The one where
and
somebody
that's
goes into
cool.
crypto
And
boxes.
and my guess would be that like more likely you'd want to make it so you could go from Decentraland to
Yeah,
Somnium
for
Space
sure.
to crypto voxels. You wouldn't want to just like I don't know. It's like
Kind of like what you were saying to me the other day, like how you envisioned there being different worlds, not just
multiple.
like you
Yeah,
said, like an
I
underwater
can't
world, a
find it right
fucking
now.
whole
I'm
different
having a harder
planet.
time. It was easier on my phone. Um,
Yeah,
but like, yeah, I guess I was digging a little earlier. It was easier, but whatever.
yeah,
The gist of it was he was saying, please, like, don't even like compare us with Decentraland. And then
yeah,
everybody kind of started going back and forth with their arguments of which one is better, and not
yeah,
really like, more people was like kind of just saying like they're not the same thing, and like we're cool with it, like with Decentraland being something that's community built and not like with one, like if you look at like you can bring their map is here, right, and this is a real good example of like what is the huge difference, right? Like all this land they built, all these parcels are available to you to buy. That's
Yeah,
cool, So like they built the land, the whole structure of the land. That's why there's water and there's like um, open areas for everybody to be able to use. But in Decentraland, every piece of land is a piece of land that our community built, which will take
right.
longer.
that's right.
And to put VR on a browser is also going to take longer.
That's right.
So
That's
like
what I like about Decentraland. It's just a browser.
exactly, not a big deal that's that because I like that. I walked around that world. I was like, this could be amazing, could be, but will be much different than Decentraland in every way, you know.
Yeah.
But it's not bad. It's like it just is. It's not like bad. So it like it rubbed me the wrong way that the dude was kind of going that way, and I've seen like I said I saw him in that presentation, and oh, this is where this all is. Yeah. This is where it all is. Here we go. All right, hold on a second.
Yeah, this guy tweets a lot.
He's going back and forth with these guys. This is like the whole thing. I'm just trying to find like I think this is the beginning of it.
But can you play it? For sure.
And then this says coming soon.
Yeah, everything's
no.
coming soon.
Yeah.
But he was like talking about how Decentraland doesn't have VR.
Yeah.
We'll never look there. That's the original tweet I think that really kind of got everything going. Was like, we at Somnium Space will never look like Decentraland. Please no. And it's just like that one of those like real cocky kind of answers,
Scroll up. Scroll up.
Hold on.
Oh, so
So this guy started with this. Oh, look, here we go. Looks like I need one of these. The tools in crypto voxels is fairly rudimentary. Needs tools or documentation. I hope Somnium Space is more similar to Decentraland. And that's all the dude said. He didn't like go crazy, and this dude like really wasn't feeling that. And then
that's not what he was talking about. He wasn't talking about the looks of Decentraland. He's talking about the documentation that Decentraland has.
Yeah, exactly. And then
That's why Oscar, the developer that was helping us do our game, my brother, that's why he likes Decentraland because of the documentation is clean.
Yeah.
By documentation, you mean
Like all the APIs,
Yeah.
everything, all the tools, the SDK.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's-
So he's got like a real arrogant kind of like, haha, the documentation is being finalized as we speak. It's just like real. It just seemed like petty. See, and it's like pretty cheap comment. Decentraland has already outdone you, and then this is kind of like goes back into like the real petty shit going back and forth.
Damn, 13 more.
And then H. Provacos comes in and starts talking some knowledge. Like I said, I don't feel like reading everything that's here, but
Yeah.
like it just, it's just not unnecessarily petty argument with a CEO of a company. You're like, homie, aren't you the CEO of this company? Like this is what we're gonna do and have like WWE style Monday Night Wars, like with the fucking with the VR games. Like I don't think that's necessary. The whole thing I just didn't think was necessary. I thought it was hilarious, but not necessary.
You know what this reminds me of though? This reminds me of like the early bickering between like Satoshi and like all these other dudes on Bitcoin talk forums, like in 2009, 2010.
Oh yeah.
That's what it reminds me of. There's a lot of people, with differing opinions back then, like how
it was
proof of stake, proof of work,
Dan
I mean, there's still that kind of stuff going on. I mean, people still are going crazy. Like the whole XRP army, which I think is fucking hilarious.
Dude, XRP is crazy, man.
It's like
everybody thinks
XRP is not your brother. You know what I mean? Like it's not your father. It's not like a family member. It's just like a thing.
I have a feeling XRP army, they're full of bots, dude. There's no way, because you tweet about one thing about XRP, you got the entire army down your throat.
You see a lot of YouTube. I'll tell you personally, because I've started looking into this stuff later than you guys, and like, there's so many people dedicated on YouTube, just to XRP armying it up. Like it's hilarious. I just find it hilarious. I'm like, I don't care one way or the other. I'm like anybody else I think in this space, you're trying to make money, right? You're trying to like.
What about Ripple? That
no.
You saw back in the day.
What?
Did you what did you think about Ripple back in the day in 2016?
I always ignored it. I always ignored it for some reason.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure why I ignored it. It's just because it's another one of these like. I focused on platform tokens.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Ethereum competitors. So when I heard about Ripple, I heard it has like closely tied to like the banking infrastructure. So I was like, man, it sounds like shit. I don't even care. It's like not something I want to be a part of. What if I would have fucking bought some back then, dude? Ripple would have like the biggest return out of all the coins.
Oh yeah, when it in the 2017 run.
Yeah.
I mean,
crazy.
But you have to. The thing about those things too is like you've got to catch them too when they pop up like that. Like for instance, Will, you said you probably caught at like 74 or something, right? Just recently, and if it would have been awesome if you were just ready to go. Right up here, like ready to go, like that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to sell at 10,571.
You know why? You know why I bought it at 74 is because I figured that if it goes down, it's going to go down to 6,000, which is not a huge loss.
Yeah, exactly.
So I was like, okay,
the upside potential is bigger.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's what you're doing when it comes to these things. When I see one of these long red ones,
that's when you buy.
Yeah, line me up. I don't care if it goes down a little more after that. They just got a long red one. Yeah. At some point, we're gonna do a Bart Simpson head.
Yeah, it's inverse Bart Simpson.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's like some BitMEX manipulation. Well, that's what everyone said. I mean, because that big red candle started right before the Zuckerberg testimony.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. Is like not a surprise that they got Zuck on trial or whatever they got him there, and then when we're falling like crazy,
Yeah.
And China comes in like, you know what? Blockchain's alright.
That's good, man. That means there's some volatility coming back based on news.
But the crazy thing is we're hovering around $10,000, which is half its all-time high.
Yeah.
It's not going to be crazy when it gets to $80,000 and then it goes up to 120. In 2 years.
Yeah. And that's that's the thing. It's gonna be percentages. And that's what people like really lose sight of. They they talk about this many points, and you're like, nah, man. Like we're talking about percentages. If it goes, it can go up. Like it went up 300% from like this, what it was over here.
Yeah.
March, it went up like 300%. So like even just over here, I mean. It kind of went 300% from here, really. So even from May to this point, that's when I saw it, and I was like, "Holy shit!" Because I had always kept an eye, but I didn't watch the charts. I didn't, any of that up until this year,
Yeah. So then, when did you first hear about it then?
Oh man, I heard about Ethereum when it came out. But I've been broke, man. I've been living crazy. So like, I like the last thought of my mind in the last few years was anything financial, never mind what to do with my finances, and I just started like really wanting to change my life after like, I told Iman, I was like, the whole thing was funny was I was making music and I was like, man, I need a better computer. And that turned into like 6 degrees of separation. Now I'm making a minor,
Right.
And then like, let me learn a lot more about this Bitcoin stuff and this crypto stuff, and then that kind of led me to where I'm at now.
It's a rabbit hole, man. Once you start getting into crypto, you don't get out.
No,
Yeah.
no, because it's the fundamentals are legitimate. You know, like I was actually gonna put up a post saying like Bitcoin, your fundamentals are showing. You know what I mean? Like, but like for real, it's the it makes sense when you understand it. It makes sense. If you don't understand it, it just is scary. And so everybody will tell me like, "Oh, be careful," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'll be careful," but I study this shit. It's not like I'm just saying like, "Oh, I'm just gonna buy me some Bitcoins, whatever." Like nah, man. Like I'm out here like I study this shit every day.
Like Carlos Matos on BitConnect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that guy was just
You know
going
who
crazy.
put me
on
onto that was
BitConnect.
my little brother, 14 years old.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he put me. I had heard of VidConnect, but I had never like seen him. And he's like, "Oh,
It
you
was
mean,
because of
like
all the
this
ads
guy?"
on
And he was just like, "I guess there's some memes going on or something like that."
Yeah,
And,
no meme. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Everybody needs
he put me onto that. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, then all of a sudden, again, like crypto is associated with scams because of it.
That's right.
It's like the big
Crypto's been associated with everything, even up to recently. I watch like a conspiracy YouTube channel sometimes, right? And these guys are talking about it's like involved a child pedophilia and all kinds of extra shit, and I'm like, yeah, but like it's on a public ledger. Like if they want to find whoever people you're talking about, all you gotta do is look it up in so many words,
true. Yeah. Fucking child porn. I didn't expect that angle.
They were saying that people are funding child pedophilia rings with some sort of Bitcoin. I wasn't even trying to listen to that long enough because I was like, listen, homie, man, like if somebody really wants to figure out how or where that money is coming from and going, you can figure that out.
Yeah.
I'm not smart enough to do that, but I'm smart enough to know that it's possible.
Right. Yeah. Just today there was another article. It could be contributing to this run up.
Mm-hmm.
But this guy, the president of Crypto Capital, arrested for laundering $390 million, and it has some connection to Bitfinex. So there's going to be some revelation around this guy's involvement, Bitfinex and Tether. Remember how that Tether scandal was
just
going
pumping
on?
billions and billions of Tether.
That's right. And so he just got arrested, and I guess we might be hearing like some intel on what's going on with Bitfinex and Tether.
Yeah.
Why would that be positive news for crypto though, or for Bitcoin? You would think that would have like the opposite effect, like
well, no, because I mean, if it's showing that Bitcoin is actually able to weed these things out on its own, then it actually is probably a strong thing for it,
But it would be like more like it would be proof for the whole conspiracy meaning, like what's been pumping the price of Bitcoin this whole time. Everyone says it's Bitfinex and Tether.
It was like
Bitfinex and Tether how long have they been around for? Is that been around since the beginning?
They were around 2017. That's kind of like the big thing, right? Like what caused that 2017 run? A lot of people.
2017 wasn't the only time that it.
Man, that's true. That's
true.
You
can just keep going back. If you erase 2017, like hold on, let me just go to the weekly. If you erase, you can go to a log scale. That's actually probably a lot better.
Yeah, there's been pumps and dumps since before.
Yeah, since long before the 2017. If you just erase the 2017 part, right? Oh, this is 2013. That looks crazy. That's 2013.
Yeah. And then back then,
again, we talk about percentages, Like,
talking about percentages. Imagine when we get to like an $80,000 Bitcoin.
That's what I'm saying, and then it does a triple.
Like, dude,
look at this. Well, that's the 17. All right, that's 2017. But if you go, like I said, in log scan, my man had a friend mining Bitcoin in 2009. He had a wallet for like a few years, and then he ended up selling it, I think, for like $6,000 in 2013. I'm like,
the whole wallet for $6,000.
Yeah, whatever was in it. Like, let's call it 150 Bitcoin or something like that. Oh man, the kid. I mean, he's not like bad. His situation ain't bad, but I heard so many since getting into this. I heard so many of these stories. So many people that I knew. Like I said, I was telling Iman. A lot of my friends from the streets like that. Like, I knew everyone fucking with Silk Road, like everyone was like, man, I was buying that Molly off of Silk Road and shit. I mean, like, oh man, yo.
Dude, it was easier back in the day. I mean, all you had to do is just transfer Bitcoin, and then all of a sudden, you got your shit on your doorstep.
Yeah, I mean, dudes are doing that, you know. And then just recently, like I'm from Massachusetts, there was some kid that that got busted for that same idea, you know. And it's like the people are not realizing like this shit is a public ledger. Like it literally will be found. Like if somebody finds what wallet that came from, then checks the IP address and then check the location, and then they'll be at your house in days. You know. So don't use it for drugs no more, guys.
Well, I guess you could.
Yeah, why not?
I mean,
use cash for drugs, you know.
Yeah, but this is more traceable, so I don't know if you want to do that.
That's the whole point. It's much more traceable. You know?
Traceable, meaning like your transaction.
Let's say you're the guy selling the drugs, right? And you're accepting Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
If you get arrested as the seller, and they confiscate your Bitcoin account, they're gonna go and track to see where all the Bitcoin.
They can go find all your.
And then they go subpoena Coinbase, and then they
transaction with you. Yeah.
Yep.
So like that's
But if we choose the right president, all drugs are legal, and the worst case that could happen is that they force you to go get rehab.
Yeah. I mean, but the whole.
Have you been following, Frankie, the whole presidential debate and all that stuff?
Nah, man. I just look at those people like people from TV. I don't even think about presidents and stuff like that. Like I literally just like.
Have you heard of
Trump to me
Yang?
is like the dude from Home Alone, you know, he's using Home Alone. It's just come on, man. Like, these people are just fucking whoever money is backing them, that's what they're gonna do. And I've seen this over and over and over to the point of I don't even look at the TV no more, you know?
For sure. But have you heard of Andrew Yang though?
Yes, I've heard of Andrew Yang. He's on top of your block runner.
Yeah.
That's how I heard of him.
It's just chilling right
here. Yeah, we got the hat. No, I mean we like the guy because he's a man of like science and math.
Yeah.
And like the stuff that he talks about, it's verifiable, right? Just like cryptocurrency.
Yeah. But the thing is, you got to remember that this is America, and like in that Zuckerberg grilling, it was like, well, we don't want to send guns over there, so we send the dollars, and they're always gonna go back to, well, we'll blow that whole shit up, you know. So if a guy like Andrew Yang is up in there to really shake things up, I mean, what they do to JFK? They brought him in front of everybody that could see TV, and it was like, watch this. Boom, there's your hero, motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I don't really believe in the presidency of America like that. Like, when Barack Obama was running, right? My man was like, yo, Frank, like, you gonna vote? And I'm like, nigga, no. Like, I ain't vote last time. I ain't voting this time. And he's like, but it's a black dude. And I'm like, man, I'll be there for the revolution. You ready? And he, nah. All right, then shut the fuck up about it, man. I'm really not fucking with you. I mean, that's how I think. Like, I'll be there for the revolution and when y'all ready to go. But, I mean, these people, like, like, this whole idea of doing it through the political system, if it hasn't worked for the past 100 years and it's been locked down for the past, 300 years, I don't see it coming,
Oh, I haven't been engaged in politics since forever. I just don't, because I don't really believe in the whole system.
Exactly.
But once I heard about Andrew Yang on Joe Rogan's podcast, I was like, wait a minute, this guy is at least talking, sense.
I liked what he was talking about, but, the road is wildly uphill.
Yeah.
Wildly uphill. I heard this old white lady the other day talking to me about it, and she was like, you believe they have some Asian guy? It's like the Chinese people come right out here and kill that. Like that. You got to remember, some of these old white people are ingrained from prior wars that you don't remember, and I don't remember. But this lady was like 300 years old. Yeah. And she remembered whatever things that happened back in those days, and I honestly do not. So.
Yeah, and plus, he's a different candidate, and I think Trump was sort of like the prototype of Andrew Yang in the sense that people wanted a president that was not part of like the political system. Yeah. And they thought that Trump was just going to shake everything up.
Yeah, and that's I was even interested in to see what he was going to do. I wasn't like go get him, but I was like, Well, we'll see what he has to do. I mean, I'm hearing certain things, and I'm hearing he's not a part of like the whole the structure.
Yeah.
Even though he's saying crazy things, but if you're gonna get elected in that manner, you're gonna have to rouse some people up. That are not on your level intelligence wise. So you're gonna have to rile them up. And I seen what he was doing, and I seen what he did, and he definitely made it happen. But at the end of the day, I'm not seeing that he really. I don't know. I'd have to see more from him to really say.
Well, he's pretty crazy. I mean, he talked about nuking a hurricane to stop hurricanes. So,
I mean, who says that's even that far fetched of an idea? Because like these dudes are talking about, they're having hurricane wars with HARP.
Yeah.
So who says?
Well, I mean, Elon was talking about nuking Mars, but I mean that made a little bit more sense because you're not nuking your own backyard.
Yeah.
But aren't they testing nukes, or didn't they test nukes like all the time?
Yeah, they did.
Like in Puerto Rico, they tested, and like what is this? Somewhere in the middle, in the southwest, right? In the southwest, they were testing those back in the day. There's whole areas that you can't go to and stuff still, right?
Yeah. There's a website or like a video or something that shows like all the detonation spots like throughout history.
Yeah.
I think like during the 50s and 60s is like when they were going crazy.
Oh yeah, because they were displaying their power.
Like I got more confidence in aliens coming down and fixing the political system than I do in people.
Hey, but that's why we have the DAO for a bunch of these cryptocurrencies where you have a government that's decentralized autonomous organization.
Yeah, to like uphold something is as easy as like an interest rate. You know what I mean? But when it comes to like global politics and shit, I don't think we can really decentralize those types of decisions.
Yeah, that's what my man Pop told me. He's like, I was telling him about things, cryptocurrency and stuff. He's like, man, Frank, they will just bomb shit. At some point, they'll just get done with all the arguments and they'll just like start bombing shit. You know what I mean? And I was kind of writing them off, but little by little, the more I hear from these people, I'm like, man, they will just bomb some shit.
That's kind of how I feel, man. It's like
I felt like that's what they were saying to Zuckerberg at one point. They were just like, man, don't make us have to just bomb some shit, homie. We don't understand what's going on here, but we do got control of the fucking bombs.
Got the button.
Yeah, word. It was kind of like one of those like, it was like, all right, chill. I do want to talk about the maze today, though.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Did you join Iman?
Yo.
Nah, I missed it.
Oh, that shit was hilarious, Iman. You should
happened?
have been there.
Y'all got another NFT, right?
Yeah.
I don't even know. I know. I probably didn't. H. Provacos kind of went off on me. Because I was cheating like a motherfucker. Oh, that shit was funny. That's what I'm saying. You should have been there for that part. It was hilarious. So
go to the location 115 -8.
Yeah. Oh yeah, hold on. Let me go there. Yeah, let me go there because I'll show you what I was doing. And that shit was funny.
Yeah, it was like a large maze, and I guess you had to wait till a certain time to get in. But what people did was they found like a nearby tree, and they just like hopped on the top side so they could.
So I'm sitting in there. I've got like 6 characters in there at one point. H. Provacos hopped in my inbox, and he's like, "You're not gonna get an NFT because so he told me whatever reason it was. It was funny. I was like, "Listen, homie, I don't care, man. I'm like, I'm having fun. I'm gonna be on the Block Runner podcast later, and we'll talk about it. But I don't care. And plus, like, what is a beta test for? If you're not trying to hack the system, break it. Yeah. So I honestly don't care. Don't send me the NFT. I don't need it. It's not a big deal. I just, if you're gonna be a real beta tester, you should be trying to break into every single play test that there is. But here's what happened. I walked up here, right, just like this, right. This was just like this, and it was supposed to say whatever the numbers were supposed to say. And I start to see the numbers go down. I'm like, oh no, who's sneaking in here? And so I'm looking around, like, and I see this guy standing on top of this tree, and I was like, hold on.
Wait,
I hopped up on top of the tree.
Yeah.
And I did that actually, the same exact thing right there. I just fell off the tree to start with, because I'm not good at computer games. But then I figured out you can do this, right? Boom. So now you're up here, and now you're in, right?
So
hold on.
you gotta
Shit! Oh
Yeah,
man.
middle
You
or
gotta
what?
figure it out.
Oh no, we're not figuring it out. We're gonna
Yeah, just
respawn.
replug the coordinates.
Yeah, exactly. The first time I did it like clean though, which was way better than what I just did there. But
Yeah, so they had 10 like mythic tokens, 100
yeah.
like rare, and then 1,000 like uncommon or something like
So I get it. Yeah, you get in the middle and there's like an axe there, and so what I ended up doing was I kept respawning, but I had like I don't know 12 browsers open, and I just got nothing but my guy in there, like probably 12 of my guys in there, and I thought I saw Will at one point in there, and I was like, man, I'm like, and then like I said, then H. Provocos jumped in my inbox, and he was like, he told me something like, you're not gonna be able to they're gonna take you off of it if you keep doing that or something. I'm like, listen, I don't care, man. Like I'm like, what is it, a mask, a knife, or something like that?
It's
like,
like,
who cares?
dude, you're supposed to break it. That way, the next time when they do one for real, you can't break it.
Literally, yeah. I mean, yeah. You know, or maybe they should fix
You know,
some
it's
trees.
funny.
You're supposed to be able to climb these trees like this, right?
Yeah,
Like,
cut that bitch down.
yeah.
You know, it's funny when we first launched the block
Shit,
runner.
man, I keep fucking this up right now.
H. Provocos was the first guy to hack the whole thing, and he put like 1337 as the jumps on there.
I remember that.
And so he did exactly what he was supposed to do: is break it,
Yeah.
right? Because once we start paying out people, you don't want a bunch of hackers just like taking all the money.
He's like,
Exactly.
check
So
out.
my thought process was, as soon as I saw the number of things, and you got to remember, in the last game test, I got 2 masks, but some people got like 12.
Yeah, they did.
Damn.
So I was like, I just wasn't about to be a sucker on this one. I was like, nah, man, I'm getting my 12 items or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I told you last time that I was like, man, when I get this black mask, somebody's getting robbed. And then everything kind of came together for me, and I was like, we're going in there 12 times. Hey guys,
man,
I'll be right back. I gotta step away for 1 second.
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, looks like I'm checking the scores on the Astros, and we're up 3-1.
Alrighty. What's the inning?
I think 6.
Sounds about right. But as you know, dude, anything can happen.
It's 4-1.
Oh, even better. I feel safer now.
Top of the 6.
Nothing to worry about. Nothing at all. So he got a green screen going. Look at that. Look at how it's all fuzzy and shit when he stepped away.
Yeah, we need to update our stuff, change the orientation as well.
What?
Of the tables and everything.
Yeah? We only have one camera, though.
For now, but I think we can change the orientation where we're probably sitting next to each other. We do like an L on the table, and then just change the location of this monitor. I think we'll be good.
Sounds good to me, dude. I'm down.
Yeah.
We already got complaints about our shitty quality production. So.
What's happening?
We gotta do something.
Yeah.
Somebody like gave us like suggestions. Like, you know what?
You need to add more cameras. Like, yeah,
It's like y'all need to
know.
up your game. Pretty much is what he told us, but like in the nicest way possible. It's like, damn, son.
You're always gonna have that, though. You know, like you know, the whole thing is talk that shit correctly and don't worry about what nobody else is doing. You know? Literally, like I'm not even trying to hear about it. You know, because you know.
Hey, when you get feedback, that means people are watching. So.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's cool. You know, it's not bad.
Exactly.
Like I saw you talking with the guy the other day about
the website?
About the website, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, of course, it's good constructive criticism. You know.
Yeah, for sure.
Same time, you know, it's you take it with a grain of salt. You take everything with a grain of salt. You design your website the way you want your website to look, right?
Yeah, it's really about optimizing time. I put the website together in the shortest amount of time to get it out there, and then you slowly change it to make it better.
Yeah. But if you didn't have the website up the way you had it up, I wouldn't have gone on there.
That's right.
So then I wouldn't have been able to talk to you about it.
Exactly.
And then I was like, fine, I'll be the beta tester. I'll start buying shit on there. You know?
Yeah.
And cool.
Yeah.
All right.
And that's why we wanted to bring you on, because we wanted to formally thank you in I guess virtual person.
Oh yeah, definitely.
For supporting everything that we're doing, man. And I appreciate it, dude.
Yeah, it was a like-minded situation. You know, it was like I saw that you guys were like-minded like me. I was a single man army out here, you know? Like definitely. I was like, you know, like really by myself, like I had my idea. I found Catherine on DCL Rialto. Is that the name of that website or something like that?
Yeah, Rialto. Yeah, DCL Rialto.
How'd you find her on there? She was like advertising.
She wasn't. Yeah, she was advertising her work. She was one of 3 advertisements on there at the time. Now there's a lot more, but she was one of 3 at the time. And so I went on there and I was like, I was just digging, man. I was just trying to find anybody who was doing things with Decentraland. I'm watching you guys. I was, I found her, and I just like dug my way in because I didn't have any skills. That's the whole hilarious part about me. I have
dude.
no skills. I just have cool ideas.
Yeah.
And so like, just like, I knew what I wanted to do. So when I got a hold of her, I just got super lucky because she's one of the best designers in the whole situation. Nice. And she's in the Decentraland University, and she's going through that whole process with Carl and all that. So like that was like cool that I found her, and then was able to like exercise my idea with somebody who wasn't gonna completely rip me off, And then that all worked out, and like you guys were a part of it because you guys were. I'm like, yeah, somebody else out here wants to like hustle, wants to really try to get money doing this, and that's how it all came together,
Yeah, I mean, we didn't intend to do everything that we did with Decentraland. I mean, literally, we were talking about it one podcast, and then all of a sudden, we reach out to Maddie from
DCL Blogger.
Maddie, DCL Blogger. Yeah.
We bring him on, and then he explains everything because at the time, Decentraland was not launched, right? Nobody knew what it looked like.
Yeah, they're just square pixels on a map.
Yeah, that's all it was.
We didn't know what the world was going to be.
I didn't even. The way I found Decentraland was I was watching some random podcast. I can't remember the dude's name. I'd like to give him a shout out. I can't remember the dude's name.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say the wrong person, so I don't even want to say it. But the dude who he was interviewing someone else who was doing something with NFTs. Again, I don't even remember that guy's business. But he was like, I might use this business for crypto collectibles in Decentraland. And I was all in the markets and stuff. I had seen it on Coinbase, and I was like, wait a minute, I've seen Decentraland.
Right.
And I was like, let me figure out what that is. And then I went into work, and I scrolled down my phone, and I did the opening scene. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And I did the opening scene. I'm like, yep, that's for me. I'm buying land today. And then that was it.
Fucking flying blimp.
Yeah, the blimp.
Flying blimp. That's me.
That's a good seller, man.
Yeah.
Good homepage.
Done. But it's like my style of like video game, and the fact that I'm into video games and crypto came together for me, and I was like, yeah, that's what I want to do.
Yeah, for sure.
So that
once I started exploring the map and looking at all the prices and shit, that's when I got sold. I saw like the Central Plaza plots going for like $1 million mana plus.
But they weren't really going for that. They were just up for that.
Yeah.
They tricked you a little bit on that one. Like this is my early morning. Every morning I go here, non-fungible. Find out who sold land, who bought land every day.
Yeah,
literally. And so I see what the prices go for, who buys what and stuff like that every day. I see what people are right now. They're trying to get into that the Game Jam district.
And
you guys are trying to build there.
Yeah, you know what's going on with that, Frankie?
Nah, man, I'm leaving that alone. I ain't with no land.
What's happening is all the winners in Game Jam got land, right? Mm-hmm. And we decided to get together on a Discord to discuss what we should do with it. And so we all got on Discord, and so we're still trying to figure out what to do with it. But some people don't want to necessarily make money. Which is crazy. Like, how are you going to sustain any work put into this if you're not going to get any money out?
And that's the whole problem. That's what I was talking to Cornwall one day, and I might have mentioned this to I-Man the day we were talking. But I'm like, when I was putting up the graffiti wall, I was walking around, and I was telling Cornwall, I'm like, yo, if you look at all these places that have like districts and stuff like that, and they've got these grand ideas. But then they get together and they're like, man, paying a coder to do all this is a lot of fucking money, huh?
That's right.
Because I'm like, yo, I have 2 parcels. Cost me like $900. You know what I mean? And I'm paying somebody quite a bit of money to develop them 2 parcels. Yeah. And I'm like, listen, man, I couldn't imagine what it is, the undertaking that it is to even look at the casino. The guy that's doing the casino, he's trying to lease some of that money out. Yeah, because it costs money to make all this happen. and I'm about it. Like I'm all about what I'm doing. I think that what I'm doing is gonna be dope. So I'm not even tripping about like how much.
You want to talk about what you're doing yet, or you want to wait?
I want to wait. I got like a week and a half or something like that before we have something we can show you. So I'd rather just do it that way, you know.
All right.
But it's based on hip hop. It's it's definitely gonna be based on hip hop. It's gonna be a venue so I can kind of exercise my own creativity. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Nice.
I can probably release my own music through that. I can do all whatever I pretty much want, So it'd be a lot of fun. And it's gonna be a place where people can come in Decentraland to actually hang out somewhere. So you don't gotta just go and do something. You can actually hang out.
Yeah.
So that's what I think a little bit. That's the beginning of it. I have some grander dreams for it, but we'll see in the coding if we can make all those dreams happen. So sometimes you have a great idea, but like I know a bit about what's possible with the coding because I've watched a few of the Decentraland University things, even though I don't know how to code, but just so I can understand what's possible, But like I said, making it happen might be a little bit more difficult than I think,
Yeah, Decentraland doesn't allow you to do everything yet or the developers don't allow you to do everything yet. Like for example, you can't click on anything that leads to a link outside of Decentraland.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they do that for like security reasons, but as well as maybe they want to keep everybody in DCL, which makes sense.
That's fine, but you guys already found a workaround with the QR codes.
Exactly.
So, but I don't necessarily need QR codes for what I'm doing. It's definitely going to be a place to hang out, and it's definitely going to be, if I can accomplish what I want to accomplish, it'll be really cool things going on in there with NFTs and artwork and all kinds of shit like that. So,
hey Frank, do you hear about that one time in Fortnite where Marshmello did a concert?
Yeah. I definitely I'm interested in doing things like that too. And
yeah, it was like technically the biggest concert ever.
Yeah. There's like a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that the Decentraland and Somnium Space and all these things have the potential to make all that happen. I think that arguing over Decentraland and Somnium Space and all these things is the most ridiculous thing that anybody's doing. So if you're listening to me and you want to argue about that shit, kiss my ass. I don't want to fucking argue about that shit.
And if you're the CEO, you want to talk shit, you can come on the podcast too.
Absolutely, come talk to these guys, and they're way more patient than me. They will not cuss you out, but I will definitely.
Yeah, we were talking about that last night. We interviewed the CIO of a project called Syndicator a couple days ago.
Yeah, what is that actually? Because I don't know anything about that.
Syndicator is actually pretty interesting. So it's a tool for analysts, traders.
Okay.
And what happens is they join two things. The first thing is a crowdsourced prediction. Basically, the platform asks the crowd, "Hey, what do you think the price of Bitcoin is going to be in the next 48 hours?" Right? You give it a range, and then it joins those predictions from the crowd with artificial intelligence predictions.
Oh boy!
And so together they come out with a product or a tool that traders can use, and so far over the last 2 years it's been over 70% accurate.
Yeah. Wow. So like if you hold onto their token in your crypto wallet, you're basically like a subscriber to their service. Then you'll get like an indicator every other day or something like that, depending on how many tokens you're holding.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Bitcoin's about to go up 5%. You better buy some, bitches. You know, it's just an alert essentially, but it's driven by like decentralized opinions, is what I'd call it.
Yeah.
Forecasting, centralized forecast.
Fancy.
Yeah,
that is.
And with artificial intelligence, they use a big data set to predict the next price.
Well, what we were talking about is before we interviewed the guy, I was a little skeptical of this. It sounded kind of like, what do you need a crypto for? You could do something like this and just pay people out cash. You know what I mean? There's nothing blockchain about this. You know what I mean?
That's like I forget the guy's name, his first name, but Antonopoulos.
Oh yeah, Andreas Antonopoulos.
Andreas Antonopoulos. He says you don't need a blockchain for that. That's like, exactly. Catchphrase.
But like
you don't need a blockchain for that.
Project, you don't need a blockchain. Like a lot of projects is like, what's the utility token? You get 5% off or something like that.
Yeah. Like Pepcoin. Did y'all hear of Pepcoin?
Pepcoin? It sounds familiar.
On the side of a Pepsi bottle, they got like They talk about. I saw this in Florida, and I didn't see it again until I watched it on the Modern Investor. He brought it up, and it's just fucking funny. It's like on the side of the bottle, it says something about Pepcoin being their cryptocurrency or something like that. And I thought it's like a joke basically. It's a joke, but it's like, you know, they just added coin to Pepsi basically. There's no blockchain involved or whatever. You know, it's like.
Yeah, man. Dude, I remember like also during 2017, there like the stock market was going crazy. Like a lot of companies were just changing their name.
Yeah, Levi's changed it, or
there's like some like fruit juice company that they just put blockchain. It's like cranberry drink blockchain co or something like that, and their stock tripled overnight or something like that. Like, dude, when you see shit like that, you know, mania for sure. You know, people are just capitalizing on the name pretty much.
So it turns out with Syndicator, the point of that coin is basically support a community.
Okay.
Oh, Coco was out there.
Yeah,
they're out there fishing. But yeah,
they could be doing anything out there.
What was I saying?
Boston.
What were you saying about Syndicator?
So you're basically revelation that the value of the coin.
But also, like, whenever we fucking like interview anybody else from here on out, like, do we want to be like one of those shillers? You know what I mean? Like a lot of people on YouTube and stuff.
Yeah.
They have like a bias.
I mean, no, because I can tell you from person. I watch a lot, like especially because I kind of got in it late, so I watch a lot of bullshit videos. You know,
like on YouTube. Right?
I'll like stop watching once I realize when it gets too shilly. You know, I'm like, all right, all right. You know, I'm good with this now. You know, I'm good with this. This, you know, is sponsored by this and that. You know, and some people do it better than others. You know, like I watch Ivan on Tech, right? And he'll have like sponsors, but he has his own opinions. You know, it's not like he's like just shilling. You know.
Yeah.
You can tell when somebody's intelligent, though. You know, so it's a I don't know. You can tell when somebody's on like literally has their own opinions. Like if you have your own opinion, it's gonna show. You know.
Yeah.
So I don't think it really matters that bad. But I think that taking money for it starts to go down a weird road. That's for sure.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and that's another thing that we kind of talked about right after the interview.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we want to maintain a certain level of integrity. And we want to talk about projects that are interesting, even if the project is a scam project. We just want to talk to them anyways.
Mm-hmm.
But because we're not shilling anything here, we're not getting paid for anything.
Yeah.
So we just want to discover and just see, you know, what these people are working on. That's it.
Yeah, definitely.
Whatever. I just thought of it. Like, what if we had this podcast in like early 2017? If a BitConnect representative came on here.
It'd be
clear as day these
history.
Are stealing people's money. Like, what the fuck? How would we react to that? Would we just be like cool with it? Like,
no, we definitely call them out, dude.
On the spot?
Yeah, because dude, people do not understand what they're getting into.
It's like the OneCoin. Did you guys hear about the whole OneCoin thing?
Yeah, OneCoin, exactly.
Yeah.
And they don't know what they're getting into, so we have to explain it to them. It's like, no, this is a Ponzi scheme. This is illegal, and you're getting taken right now.
Yeah, for sure.
Like with OneCoin, I mean, like there's some people actually in jail behind this shit. You know what I mean? So you might want to, just double think. I mean, I'm not gonna tell you what to do, but there's some people in jail behind this shit. You know?
Yeah.
And I don't think they got anybody from BitConnect. Not even the YouTubers that were shilling it.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
They got the FBI up their ass, but nothing really happened.
Yeah. Well, it was early days, man. Wow.
It was.
A lot of people got away with a lot of shenanigans. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
It's the unregulated days.
Yeah.
They're
and I wish I was around for those days. Honestly, like I said, I was just like doing everything in life that was not healthy. You know.
Yeah, I feel that for sure. That's what happened to me. Like before that, I made the money. Then I went into that route, like, and I fucking spent it all like on stupid shit.
Yeah, I was doing everything, man. I've done, and I lived a great life though. You know what I'm saying? Behind that shit, like I won't take back the years that I gave up like doing crazy shit, but it made me wise. You know, that's what I would say.
100%, man. I'll be honest, man. I went to jail last year, and it totally changed my perspective on like everything.
Yeah.
Before jail, I was like chronically always depressed just because I always had this idea in my head like I need to be at a certain point in life. Like
you don't want to live that, man.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Like I need to. If I'm not making six figures by 30, I'm a fucking loser. I'm a failure. Some shit
Oh
like
man,
that.
people say that kind of stuff all the time. This life throws you so many curveballs, man, and people become big money later in life too. That happens. You know what I mean? So that's like, to me, I've never really been one of those people like, I need to be this, I need to be that. Like, I was of the mindset that I wasn't gonna make it to 30 when I was like 20.
Damn,
dude.
You know what I'm saying?
You came up from some fucked up environment. I'm
I
assuming.
mean, it wasn't just the violence, it was everything. It was like everything. You know what I mean? I was doing everything. And I crashed my motorcycle, basically is what happened.
Ooh.
And when I crashed my motorcycle, I'm like, I got a niece and a nephew at the time. Just my niece and my nephew at the time. And I'm like, man, I'm not really trying to, but you don't think about that. When I was 22, I really wasn't thinking about like, nothing. I was like, probably won't be 30, no big deal. Like, we're gonna live it up, And then, when I crashed the bike, I said, all right, man, like time to a little bit start doing things differently, and so I stopped being around so much crime and so much things, and then I started partying real hard. You know what I mean? Like, so it was like, okay, yeah, I stopped doing all the extra stuff, but then I started being like, well, we partying still, and so I did that for another how many years, and then eventually got to the point where it was like, I ain't doing nothing with myself right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm and then I was making the music. That was cool, man, like making music. But making music is a thing that you can put a gang of money into that shit and get nothing,
Yeah, for sure.
And even if you're good, like I felt I was pretty good at what I did. You know what I mean? But I was just like, still didn't, I felt like I was just dumping money into it. So then I had to just change the whole concept,
Yeah, man. Music thing is like, fuck. I can imagine.
How difficult that is.
The success rate has to be like point.
It's probably, you probably have like 10 times better chance getting into NBA if I started right now.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I'm Puerto Rican. Like, there's like been probably 2 Puerto Ricans in the history of the NBA or something like that.
Yeah, true. They're all playing baseball and stuff though.
Yeah. Boxing, baseball.
Yeah, man. So,
well, that's good, Frankie, though, that you got out of all that stuff. And
it's like I always
it's all about replacing those negative influences with like.
You want to hear the crazy shit? Is what I did was I stopped watching about getting into cryptos. I stopped watching random videos about like random rap beefs and rap shit and just dumb shit, right? I replaced those videos with Bitcoin shit, right?
Yeah.
And I would fall asleep to it.
Yep.
And I would like gain a word in my vocabulary overnight,
Yeah.
And then when I woke up in the morning, I would have that word and a little bit more interest. And through that process, that's how I got into all this.
Yeah.
So like
it's only
funny.
gonna get worse, dude. Once this bull market like really starts churning, man, you're not even.
I'm at a point now. There's no return now. I'm just here.
Yeah. You gotta remember, this is a 24-hour market, man. If you're gonna start trading this shit,
I'm not trading it no more. Like, that was the beginning. When I first started, that was the thought. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be trading this shit all the time. Like, no, I'm not, man. I don't have enough. Like, my heart is not built for that.
That's tough.
And so, like, I don't mind dollar cost averaging, and I don't mind, like, being involved with the things. That's why I really kind of gravitated to Decentraland. It was just like, it was another way for me to take my creativity and just like use my creativity in this market,
Yeah.
And so, well, when Project Pain comes out, I'll show you guys what I'm talking about.
Yeah, definitely. Hell yeah.
Can you click on that official moon math?
Yes.
I want to get your opinion on like the whole trajectory of Bitcoin. Do you tend to agree with this, Frankie?
Man, I mean, yeah, if
hard
you know what I mean,
no.
it's like one of those things. It's like yeah, if like, because it's hard to like. There's not many things that are just worth $100,000 a share in anything in the world. So it's kind of hard to say like, yeah, I can see it being here, But
well, I guess the real question is, do you see a deviation from Bitcoin's taking a different path in this rainbow? That's the real question, because I cannot. I don't.
I mean,
dips
with all the studying that I've done, not really, but at the same time, with my knowledge of the world, I mean, it could definitely, it could definitely change this whole situation because
I think one thing that could do something like that, what you're talking about, Frankie, is if all the developers say, we're done with Bitcoin, we're going to go to like Bitcoin 2, and the price of this dumps.
Which I don't even see that happening.
Which like I don't think
everybody's so invested in it right now, though.
Yeah.
Like between the developers, like I was watching Ivan on Tech, and he was talking about like the prestige that it is to be a Bitcoin developer right now is worth the money. Like they don't even really get paid, but they're just like, yeah, but I'm a Bitcoin developer, and I know more than you, right?
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh yeah, I guess so. Yeah, yes, you do. You want to run this company?
Programmers flexing on each other.
Yeah, literally. But then then there's miners, and miners aren't trying to give it up either. There's these huge like farms, literally the size of regular farms. That just have mining equipment. Like, are you gonna really just like? I don't see like today. I really felt that. Yeah, there was some China influence. Yeah, there was some backed influence, and then there was like, there's buy orders from those miners, man. 70 something. There's buy orders set for those miners to not have to lose, because you got to think about it. If it goes under that 7,000 number, you start to be not as profitable, right? Like literally, like turn off the machine, not as profitable, right?
Yep.
And they experienced it like whatever it was last year or whatever. They experienced under that number. And I think once it got over that number, they were like, okay, we're not going back to that shit. We'll just buy it with the money that we've already made. We'll just buy it back to bring the number back up,
Yeah.
And you have like the volume of the amount of people that, like the amount of Bitcoins that they've already mined, they can do that. They have like the money to be able to do that. So I think there's a storm today of what made this happen wasn't just one thing or the other. I think there was like several things in conjunction.
Culmination of all these things. Yeah, I mean, I really like the nonlinear regression curve just because it follows the math of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Because as time goes on, there's going to be less Bitcoins entered into the economy.
There's the whole thing is the finite. I don't know if we've ever seen anything that was like legitimately finite like that.
Oh, that's the thing. I don't think we have.
No,
in the history of humanity, we have not found something actually as finite as Bitcoin.
Exactly. Now people talk about forks all the time and stuff like that, but forks, they are the Bitcoin caches of the world and the Bitcoin SVs.
Yeah.
And we've seen how those work out. You got some guy claiming that he's Satoshi Nakamoto and all this. And
yeah.
Have you ever seen the videos of that guy on stage trying to convince people?
Oh,
he's
yeah.
He's like, oh, when Satoshi wrote the white paper. I mean, when I wrote the white paper. It's like, dude, are you for real? Like, and you're really convincing people. That's crazy.
That's what I always said. It's unbelievable. It's like so obvious, right? That this guy is just
he's just
talking out his ass.
When you're convincing,
following.
That's the thing too. Is he doesn't have to convince me. He's convincing people who are generally more gullible, than me.
Oh well, yeah, for sure, yeah,
Bag
to get
holders.
their money, yeah.
They're all holding bags, right? So there's like a cognitive bias there.
And if he was Satoshi Nakamoto, he would know the gravity of the private key associated to the Genesis block. Yeah. And since he doesn't have access to it, just because he locked it up or did something with it, I mean,
you don't lose that. You don't.
If
you know
Satoshi, not to lose that.
Exactly. Yeah. But what I was saying the other day in the Discord, was like, with adoption, you're gonna have like there will be eventually, if there's a mass adoption, there'll be also a stability that comes, and it won't just be this up thing. Like we're not, that's not going to continue.
That's why it tapers off towards the end, right?
Yeah. I think that's why it's this kind of, we talk about non-linear, because like just up really don't make sense.
Yeah.
Sure. At some point, you've got to have more stability for anybody of mass to want to continue to put money on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like the bigger businesses, when it, let's say when you hit $1 trillion market cap, you're not gonna want to be putting that much money, institution money, you know, the kind of money that countries put in the shit, and be like, oh, it could be, you know, $1 million today and $200,000 tomorrow. Like, hell no, man.
Yeah.
You can bankrupt a country like that, you know?
Yeah, and once Bitcoin gets to around $1 million, the volatility is going to go down because on a crazy day it goes up 1%. We're talking about $10,000 right there.
Well, that's why people argue the whole store value nowadays
100,000.
more than the
Usage, yeah.
world reserve currency.
Yeah, you're gonna
Yeah.
use something. I mean, and regardless if it's got a billion zeros to the right, you know,
Yeah.
like you still wouldn't want to use that
Yeah,
because
exactly.
it got there from 0.0 whatever, you know, from 1 cent or whatever it was, you know.
You know, another argument that I always hear about Bitcoin, which I don't agree with, is that Bitcoin is the first cryptocurrency out there, kind of like MySpace and, you know, all these first.
Oh, and there's gonna. Well, the thing is, the huge difference is the way it was created and the whole Satoshi story. Like, the dude doesn't exist no more, so there's no
Right.
one to go after. Whereas, like Ethereum can't do what Bitcoin is doing, and I don't know if there's gonna be another person that can. You know, the one thing I would say is I've heard of like quantum computers.
Yeah. Yeah.
And those being able to kind of like shake things up.
Well, here's what
know.
kills that argument is essentially you have developers on Bitcoin, and every now and then they keep updating Bitcoin, and it's a completely different cryptocurrency than when it was in 2009.
Yeah.
And so Bitcoin is continuously being updated, and you can consider it as one of the newer coins if you really think about it.
But let's say a quantum computer did hack Bitcoin somehow.
Yeah. Yep.
The implications of that, if it hacked one block,
Yep. That's true.
we would take the dive that no one would want to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But you know what? If you have quantum computing, you wouldn't go after a $200 billion market. You'd go after the $1 trillion market that supports all the banks,
But
all the
if
companies.
okay, let's say that we get to that point where Bitcoin just goes crazy. You know, everybody starts using Bitcoin. The governments start collapsing and all this, because that's what I mean. That's the other thing that people don't realize, that you're talking about. If Bitcoin does the things that the people talk about it doing, you're gonna see some countries go.
Yeah.
Things
sure.
are gonna be different. America is probably not gonna be the superpower anymore.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, now America's not the superpower. You know, you got $1 trillion market cap. At that point, yeah, it's probably worth it to aim a quantum
definitely.
computer at it. You know.
See, what I'm afraid of is quantum computing that's not evenly distributed. So, if, for example, our developers in Decentraland don't have access to that quantum computer, then yeah, it's a real threat. But once
somebody has it, you think that somebody else would have it, right?
exactly, and I'm thinking that the Bitcoin developers will have it, and they'll use that to protect the cryptocurrency further.
Yeah.
So that's where I kind of see.
How are they gonna have it though?
Well, it depends on how evenly distributed that technology is. So, for example, if it's
Like right now, it's in the hands of Google essentially.
yeah.
You know. So what's their plan? They're gonna
What's their plan?
everyone's fucking house or what?
Not necessarily. I think they would have access. They would allow people to access that machine. But
Or they
I
could
don't even
just-
know if that's how it works.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can build a quantum computing cell phone.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
I don't know.
I saw like an ad for that quantum supremacy thing Google just pulled off a few days ago, and it's like it looks like a chandelier of like wires. Like, what the fuck is that thing, dude? It's like we're going back to the 1960s of what computers used to look like. But I guess that's what you got to do, right?
Yeah.
So we got to wait another 30, 40 years before you have a quantum cell phone. You know what I mean? It's like you're starting all over again.
Yeah.
I don't really know exactly what's going to come. Like, what's the world going
And
to
my other thought too was, if you have a quantum computer, wouldn't you use it also at the point that, you know, Bitcoin evolves? Wouldn't you also use it to mine, and then wouldn't the difficulty go to a point of just ridiculousness too?
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. And it depends on how much a quantum computer consumes in power.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe it consumes nothing and it's that efficient.
I don't know.
A nuclear quantum computer. You know, something like that. Like, there was some country, I think it was, I can't remember. I'm not gonna even say the country because I'll be wrong. But that they were talking about using some of their excess nuclear power to mine Bitcoin.
Oh yeah. What country was that?
I'm not
Yeah,
even gonna say
power.
because I like
Sounds
legit
like
don't
Russia.
remember.
Was it Russia? I think it was Russia.
I don't think it was Russia. I thought it was a small country like Bahrain or something like
Oh man, no, I heard about that too. I mean, if you have extra power, I mean, why not?
Yeah.
that. Yeah, but nuclear power.
Yeah, I mean, it's nuclear power. It sounds scary, but what it actually is it's heat, heating up water, turning it to steam, and turning turbines. So it's not as scary as it
You
sounds.
make it sound less scary, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Have you seen that show? What was it called? Chernobyl?
I didn't see that. Nah,
Oh, Frankie, dude, trust me, man. You've got to see that show, man.
What's it on?
It's on. What was it?
And are you
HBO.
shilling this?
Yeah.
Or did you get paid for this?
No,
This is how he is, man. Like every show or movie he's ever seen is like the best production of all time, dude. He's got like 100 movies on his
watch
like
that
best movie ever
in
list.
Silicon Valley. Trust me, you'll thank me later,
All right.
Silicon Valley. Yeah,
dude.
that's another HBO production.
It is. HBO's been killing it, man.
Oh shit! You got to keep you away from the sponsors for sure, man.
HBO, if you want to hit me up, just let me know.
For real. Man.
Oh shit! All right, guys, I'm gonna let you go. I think this is a good spot to end it at.
All right, Frankie. Yeah,
But-
man, we appreciate you joining us.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's great conversation. I really appreciate you guys in general. You know. So,
Yeah, whenever you're ready to talk about your creation, we'll
yeah,
you back.
we'll get together. We'll do that as soon as I finish up. And I know Catherine had even sent me a message about that during the podcast itself. So we'll continue. We're gonna continue working. And like I said, I think that we can create some cool things. I think that we can be the leaders of the people who are trying to really make things happen. You know.
Definitely.
So I think that we should continue that.
Cool, man. We appreciate it, dude.
Yeah,
We'll talk soon.
definitely. Yeah,
We'll be in
definitely.
Discord.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right, man.
Take it easy, guys.
Bye.